the basic anatomy of the heart. Chambers of the heart. The heart is a hollow organ that sits between your lungs, behind your sternum, in a space called the mediastinum. It consists of 4 chambers, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. Here is the right and left atrium and right and left ventricle. They are separated through walls named after the chamber they separate. The interatrial septum separates the right and left atriums. The interventricular septum separates the right and left ventricles. Let's separate the heart into left and right and compare the differences. The right atrium is slightly larger. Its walls are thin, sit mostly interior. The left atrium is somewhat smaller, has thick walls, and sits mostly posterior, as shown in this 3D model. Right ventricles are thin-walled and crescent-shaped, while the left ventricle is thick-walled, longer, and circular-shaped. We'll go over why that is in another video. In between those chambers, you'll find atrioventricular valves. On the right side, you have the tricuspid valve. It has 3 flaps called cusps, hence its name, tricuspid. On the left side, you'll find the mitral valve or bicuspid valve, since it only has 2 cusps. Now, I'm sure you can see that the valves are connected to something, that is, the chordae tendineae. It is a cord that connects the cusps to papillary muscles, which are these finger-like protrusions. The great vessels. The heart is also directly connected to the largest blood vessels, collectively called the great vessels, and there you can find the 2 semilunar valves, which are named after the arteries they are in. Let's begin with the aorta. It is very easy to identify due to its distinct arch. It is connected to the left ventricle, where you can also find the aortic valve. This right here is the pulmonary trunk, where you'll find the pulmonary valve. You can easily identify this since it splits into left and right pulmonary arteries. It connects with the right ventricle. Here, you have the superior vena cava, and inferior to that, you have the inferior vena cava, which connects to the right atrium. Lastly, this is the pulmonary veins. They connect to the left atrium at the posterior of the heart. Now, be very careful. Do not try to identify great vessels based on color, because blue doesn't necessarily mean it's a vein, and red doesn't always mean it's an artery. As you can see, the pulmonary trunk is blue, but it's an artery since it delivers blood away from the heart. When dealing with great vessels, blue means the blood being carried is deoxygenated, and red is oxygenated. The best way to minimize mistakes is to remember which chamber it connects to and its distinct shape. Let's take a look at the heart from the outside. From an interior view, this tip is called the apex, and it points to the left hip. The heart has a flattened base at the posterior side of the heart. The blood vessels surrounding the heart are coronary vessels. They are the blood vessels that supply and drain blood from the heart itself. The flaps you see here are called auricles. This groove under the auricles are the atrioventricular sulcus. This groove here is the interventricular sulcus. And that is the basic anatomy of the heart. Every structure, the shape and characteristic of the heart has a purpose, and we will go over that in the next video, the physiology of the heart. Thanks for watching.